At this point, I feel dumb for not always rooting for Janine and Greg. Halloween episode of Abbott was just as adorable as you thought it would be. Let's talk about it, and spoilers if you aren't up to date. I didn't get a chance to review the last episode. Honestly, when I did watch it, there wasn't much that happened that I wanted to do a full video on, but I did want to take a moment to appreciate my boy over here. I thought it was a missed opportunity that he didn't check in on the school today, because I would have loved to see him dress up like, I don't know, maybe the Green Lantern or something super nerdy. I did enjoy them playing into the trope of Ava, the cool girl, not seeing how fine this man was until he took his glasses off. I don't know, I just thought that was really funny. Speaking of Ava, I think it's officially confirmed that she is a blurred. What I really like is that it wasn't in your face like a lot of characters are, where she was like pulling out comic books and things like that. Ava is a cool black woman who's in a sorority. She's a leader, everybody wants to be her, and she's a mean girl. She's also a doomsday prepper, and her costumes are always comic book characters. One year she was that fly ass Storm, and now we got her as Blade. Honestly, I don't want to call this a costume. I think this is a cosplay, because when she was donning this fit, she was Blade. That scene where she fights her students in the streets, I mean, so freaking cute. Growth we've seen for Ava as a character needs to be studied. I remember rooting for her to get fired as principal and wanting Greg to take that job. Now I'm not quite sure if Greg can handle it. I mean, no offense to him. I think he's cool and he's organized and he's smart. I'm not quite sure if socially he's prepared. He has a lot of phobia and personal rules that I don't think would work as principal. I also don't think he'd be willing to do the things that Ava does to become principal, because it's clear from last episode and other things where we see Ava get the hookup, she's willing to do that extra step and knows the means to do it correctly to help fulfill the students' needs. I've been slowly becoming Team Greg because obviously I'm still hurt about Manny. God damn it, these costumes are so adorable. I was Patrick Bateman for Halloween. Besides sweating through this entire costume because it was like 90 degrees. I ran into that same issue where people were like, are you a mad scientist? Because I was like splattered with blood. Let me tell you, there is nothing more satisfying than having a niche costume and people get it. It's like a dog whistle for your niche group. I definitely understood the pressure of them wanting to be peanut butter and jelly and having a costume that everyone would be excited about. Especially after that roast session in the teacher lounge. I don't know if I could survive that. Changing the wiki links to head ass to their picture. I don't know. If they haven't done it already, let's go ahead and bump Cree Summers up to series regular. She is such a great addition to the cast, and every one of her jokes was just on point. Also, she was so adorable as Cat in a Hat. Look at these cowboy boots. I love when Janine was like, oh, so now you're in the lounge with us all the time? It has to be hard to see the woman that you helped get a job roast you in your man's costume. I loved it. I love the whole thing. I think it's a huge part of our culture to roast at least one group, especially when they're being head ass. Every time I start to like Barbara, she starts to do things that reminds me that I would not want to know her in person. I understand that she's one of the best educators in the school, but the way that she wields that like a weapon and how unwilling she is for any type of change, it's really annoying, especially since I'm seeing so much growth for so many of the characters. And I feel like Barbara has grown the least. She was ready to traumatize those children. What I was very proud of, it was so brave of them to outright say, hey, we don't really like bobbing for apples. That shit is gross. And it was terrifying to see her gobble up that water. Like, I was like, this is obscene. So Barbara be capping. I can't stand that. In the last episode especially, she was all like, I could never lie, da da da. And then she was the best liar out of all of them. She only understands nuance when it pertains to her. I don't know. She just be getting on my nerves. I love the character. I think she's done well. I think she has really funny moments. She be annoying me, okay? Storyline of Melissa being in love with that hamster, though, is adorable. And them actually swapping each other, her putting a little wig on it, incredible. Speaking of costumes, I love that they put that girl Courtney as Moon Girl. If you don't remember Courtney, she was a child who was acting out because she was way too smart for the work they were giving her. And so for her to be Lunel, an actual genius, is so cute. They also had an Easter egg for Quinta in the audience. She's dressed like Quinta in one of her most viral moments where she's at the movies with a guy and he buys her popcorn. And she's losing it like, oh, he got money. And I love little cute things like that. All in all, this was a great episode. I'm still chasing the laughs of Wingworm. That was so good, but I still laughed a lot. I still was like, oh, multiple times. So let's go ahead and give this one 4 out of 5 Frankie Flames.